Welcome. I'm so glad that you can join me here today. 229, pages 588, 89, and 90 out of 852 from the Sovereign Light, named after my ministry, this novel, A Course in Metaphysical Spirituality. And how do you do? My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitides, and won't you join me here with your presence, fully grounded in the here and now moment, and all the takeaways of worries that might push you into the future, of the many probabilities. Let them all melt away. All the guilts and remorses from the past, anything in vain, anything that you might have envied, seeking vengeance of any sorts of illnesses that have brought you discomfort, that have pulled you out from your center to distract you with. Just let them settle like the ripples of a drop into the body of water. And all those pebbles that have dropped, that you cast in every sense of the way, that brought you to feeling and being pulled out of your center to the past, actions and decisions and choices and the what ifs. Let them melt away and find that inner peace, that tranquility from where the water, this body, is now still. And slowly take a few deep breaths in and blow very nice and calmly everything there is that's you in the here and now moment. Feeling the comfort, feeling at ease. Disassociate from all the distractions. Let them drop away and melt. And as we breathe in, notice your breathing. How deep can you go into a sense of relief, of letting go, of disengaging, unclutching, and staying in neutral? This isn't a desensitizing of numbing of your senses. On the contrary, it's the giving into and allowing to receive what your body is feeling, the communication, the intuition, the telepathy, the clairvoyance, the audio, and so on, extrasensory perceptions that we may empathically, through compassion, as an example, can feel and sense our environment, our relations to all the subjects that we might engage with, the people, places, and objects that we give our energy and empower others or empower ourselves. What is it that we're doing, taking it into consideration? all these fine, infinite realities, and like a tapestry, they intertwine with one another to see the bigger picture. So, what is ascension? This topic that we will be exploring to expand on further. And as you have learned to practice to find your center and anchor and ground, now you can have your eyes closed or open for this. And the sermon, it will go on to continue and blend the affirmation, a prayer-like blessing that may open you up to activate and work through all the wrinkles that you might be having as blockages, keeping you, restraining you, oppressing you, repressing you, keeping you closed in from ascension. What are those things? The process of descending and ascending can bring with it the activation, and by turning on psycho-spiritual parasites from its field. This is a turning inward, outward motion, and from it a circular boundary to entrap things that must be released, or they will wander aimlessly, feeding on the energetic field of the self. So anything that is going to be telling you from the outside that you might want to incorporate and engage contractually as a soul contract, that you agree to a circular kind of regeneration of your currency as credit system to the value of this thing called money in future. Have a sense of discernment that this will teach you here and now to observe and listen. Really listen. This is a turning inward, outward motion, and from it, like a figure 8, the circular boundary to entrap things that must be released, or they will wander aimlessly, feeding on the energetic field of the self. In its weakest of moments, the self and its immunity might be lowered, and a tearing of its field can happen. Only then can things enter, and from within to reflect outward as these parasites, as these intellectual properties that you have given power to, owning you, your sovereignty. In its weakest of moments, the self might give consent to be exploited from wanting to help and to become of service in this way of experimenting on itself from the outside in, and to explore from the inside out. And so now, I want to hear you say these words out loud with me so you can imprint upon your reality to help guide you and work through, hand in hand, whatever comes up and out that you might clear and strengthen your immunity right here and now. Let's begin. Sounds good. To remember, identity will fool to exist outside of me and play the role model. I know now. I now remove all common thread that disrespect to make me feel so small and insignificant. Outside of me, my loneliness can feed a hungry tiger, and then the next day I can find again. It hungers even more. To remember identity will fool to exist outside of me and play the role model. I now remove all common thread that disrespect to make me feel so small and insignificant. Outside of me, my loneliness can feed a hungry tiger, and then the next day I can find again. It hungers even more. To remember identity will fool to exist outside of me and play the role model. I now remove all common thread that disrespect to make me feel so small and insignificant. Outside of me, my loneliness can feed a hungry tiger, and then the next day I can feel and find again. It hungers even more. And to explore this even further, tune into my other video that is the longer version, and I hope to see you there.